Hello, football fans. Welcome back to Herd of the Line. This is your Week 7 review show. I am joined by my lovely winning co-host, Tom, and as always, super producer, Fletch. It's Ollie's birthday. He's out having dinner with his parents, as he should be. He might join us later, and if he does, we'll make a big deal and sing. Anyway, how are we doing, gentlemen?
Very good. Yeah, after exciting NFL Sunday.
Victory Monday for you, Tom.
Yeah.
Monday night football for you, Fletch. I'm sure you have been injecting caffeine straight into your veins all day long for what will be a long night for you.
Yeah, you can't see the drip, but it's kind of at the side of my desk. Obviously, going into this
Well, I'm glad I can't see it, just to be really honest with you. Um, Look, we're not going to lie. Yesterday featured one amazingly crazy game, which we're going to get
Mhm.
into right at the beginning of this episode. A couple of okay games, and then everything else was dog shit. Excuse my language. And we all know I don't like cussing on the pod, but that's just what yesterday was. So we're hoping Fletch, Tampa Bay, and Detroit is just an all-time just fest because this week was not great. But before
yeah.
we get into it, as we always do, Tom, you got some news for us.
Yeah. So some sad news to start. Unfortunately, Doug Martin, former running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, has died at the age of 36. Yeah, he was a three-time Pro Bowler. Beloved member of the Buccaneers, one of the 50 best Buccaneers of all time named. So yeah, that's some sad news that came out yesterday. And then onto some injury news. We had a couple of injuries, season-ending injuries yesterday. Eric McCoy, the center for the New Orleans Saints, who's a really good center in the league. He's going to be out for the season with torn triceps. And then for my team, for the Chiefs, Omar Norman Lott, who got rolled up on yesterday. Funny enough, a Raiders player actually fell on top of him, which didn't look great. He has torn his ACL, as reported by Ian Rappaport, and he's going to be out for the season. So that's a bit of a bummer. But luckily, there's no more big injuries, it looks like right now. So
Well, which is good. So, Fletch, you got anything on your end?
Not particularly nothing that Tom hasn't covered.
All right. Well, let's get into these week 7 games. And you cannot tell the story of week 7 without talking about one of the craziest, most insane games, which if you had asked 99 out of 100 people before this season, what game are you excited about watching? No one would have picked this game. Not the saying it was a bad matchup, but it wasn't, top tier. And of course, I'm talking about the New York Giants who lost to the Denver Broncos 32 to 33 after being up 20 wait, what was it?
19 nothing,
19 nothing. And
26 to 8. Yeah.
26 to 8 in the fourth quarter. It baffles me. They allow 33 points to be scored in the fourth quarter, which were all that the Broncos needed to win this game. Um, Having been on the other end of this and what is the biggest collapse in the history of the Super Bowl and the biggest choke job ever in the history of any professional sport, I'd like to still add. Um, this was breathtaking. And as you watched it, you felt it just completely collapsing for the New York Giants. Tom, tell us about this game.
Yeah, I was saying to Fletch before we jumped on, I have no idea how the Giants lost this game. I feel like Brian Dable should instantly be fired after this game. But it was a crazy game though, as you said. I actually picked the Giants to win this game in our Pick'ems league, which I'm sure Fletch is well aware of. But yeah, I mean, the Giants came out kind of flying in this game. Jackson Dart was playing well. He had four total touchdowns in this game. Cam Scatterboo running through the Denver defense, this vaunted Denver defense that gave up, 32 points. But it all kind of flipped on the interception thrown by Jackson Dart in the fourth quarter. That was massive kind of game-changing play because then they get the ball back. They scored a touchdown on that drive.
Was
And then
that was that interception it was another long like deep pass again, right? Or was it what I can't remember what.
No, so he was under pressure, and then he was just trying to. I don't know if he was trying to like
Oh, was
break
that the goofy
away.
one where
Yeah, it like kind of went, and then it went straight to the the what do you call it? The Broncos defender. I've forgotten the name, unfortunately, but he then like kind of like stepped into where the throw was, and
Strand.
then have you got it?
It was
Strand,
Strand, wasn't
right?
it?
Was it Strand? Stranard.
Stranad, that's the one.
Yeah, Stranard. Yeah, exactly. That's it. So he picked it off. Next thing you know, then they go and scored a touchdown. And then it just felt like all the momentum was going their way. But a lot of things had to go their way for them to get back into this game. So a lot of credit has to go to Denver, especially to Bo Nix in the fourth quarter, putting on that Superman cape. I think he had 4 touchdowns, including a rushing touchdown, and put them up 30. Yeah, we put them up. And then obviously, then the Giants go down, tie the game. Will go ahead in the game even with the touchdown from Jackson Dart, but their clock management there was definitely questionable. They could have maybe run the ball another time or something like that, and they played terrible defense. They dropped 8 deep on the final 2 plays that allows the Broncos to just roll down the field and kick a
yeah,
game
both
field goals.
but yeah, but Bo Nix connects with both Courtney Sump and Mims on 2 key plays that set up that last field goal for Will Lutz to kick a 39-yarder as time
But it wouldn't have
expires.
mattered as well if
If they
The
hit,
Giants' place kicker had actually
it
hit
should
2
hit.
extra points. So
No, they score that go ahead touchdown, and you think the game's over because they're about to kick the extra point, and he misses it. He misses it.
Yeah.
you could
I,
not make it up. You could not make it up. It was another one of those things which you always see, where it's like the win probability for the Giants was 99.2% or something, which
yeah.
doesn't mean anything until the game is over anyway. I think those win probability things are stupid, but um, yeah, it was a crazy back and forth game, and I'm sure that I know Brian Burns was thinking, why the hell did we drop 8 on that final play and let
Hmm.
them, in the soft zone for them to go and get into field goal range. But the Giants defense kind of sold this game towards the end as well. But overall, just a offensive shootout, crazy comeback for the Broncos. And one other thing on this one, which I thought was quite fitting, is that
Demaryius Thomas.
yeah, the Broncos scored 33 points to win 33 to 32 on the day that they honored the late great Demaryius Thomas
Who was number
with
33?
who was number 33 and he got his name lifted into the stands next to Peyton Manning. So that was quite amazing.
Yeah, Ring of Honor. Yeah, that was cool. I just saw that too. Um, I don't even know what to say. I mean, Jackson Dart did play well the majority of the game. That interception obviously in the timely, but that shouldn't, when you're up, what you're up and how you've been playing, that should not have been a penalty that in the end would cost you the game, which I mean, again, it didn't necessarily, but it was the tide turner at that point. Um, I don't know, man. I
I
don't,
mean, it was
I,
crazy as well, wasn't it? Because it's not even just like the comeback, it's like all the things that the ball gets bobbled in the air by the Giants defender and then caught for the Broncos for the touchdown. The same with Theo Johnson. It gets hit in the air and then he catches. It was like there was so many moments in this game where it was just like, oh wow, this is just nuts, to be honest.
yeah. It was really fun to watch because it was like watching Red Zone. All the other games at this time were just pretty much crap. And then
Mm.
all what's the guy who does Red Zone?
Scott
Sorry.
Scott
Hanson.
Hansen.
Yeah, Hanson. He just like he knew like he had gold. He's just like, hey, let's get back to this game. Like, so like in that fourth quarter. So because everything else, I guess that Cardinals who are the Cardinals playing?
Green
Sorry.
Bay.
Packers.
Yeah, Green Bay. Yeah, but like, was that the second half? I can't remember if that was the second
Yeah,
half.
yeah, that
That was
was one of the other
There
ones,
was
yeah.
late ones.
there was one point where both games were up on the screen at the same
Mm.
time. Both of them had 55 seconds left in the game. And I was saying to Tom, like, spend most of the afternoon watching just a bit like, okay, something's happening. okay, something there, guess has happened. And then at 12:30 at night, you're in front of the screen going, what the hell's going on? This is why sometimes football is just the best sport on the planet because you can have 6.5 hours of nothing and then 6 minutes of your life taken up by whatever the hell went on for those final few minutes.
That's right. I think I was thinking of the Eagles Vikings game. Maybe
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, so, but anyway, what a heck of a game. If you did not get a chance to watch it, you should at least go back and get the YouTube highlights and watch this game. Even if you know it's happening, it is crazy.
There's a
What was
reason why it
what?
has like a 20 minute, like the YouTube highlights are 20 minutes. Like most of them are like 12 minutes. Like this game was nuts.
And the craziest thing about this is how quickly the narratives turn in the NFL was, coming into this game, Dayball and Dart, you're feeling really good. You won a couple of games. And in the middle of this game, even the commentators were talking about like, Giants is a very this is kind of win that, can really propel your season. This might sink their season now. Like,
Mm.
like it's one where if you go back and you don't win, maybe one or two more games the rest of the season, you point to this and go, man, this is where it all turned for us.
Yeah, and,
Yeah,
and and on the flip side of that, for the Broncos, they'd lost all the games that they lost this season, they lost them, on last minute field goals.
yeah,
And it felt like when the Giants went down and then scored that touchdown with Jackson Dart towards the end, that they were going to still somehow get away with the win. But it was, impressive for the Broncos to, kind of put that at the back of their mind and go and execute and go and have that game winning drive to win the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're
Just
5-2, top of the AFC West. So with the Chiefs being done in it.
yeah. Just gotta say that I do feel horrible for Jude McAtamney, sorry. Um, Obviously coming, well, he's one of those who's come through the international player
I
pathway.
thought so.
Um,
Yeah.
Northern Irish from Derry, Northern Ireland. Um, his two missed kicks last night. I was looking on social media. Should not have looked on social media at anything related to the name Jude McAtamney. Um, it was horrific, and it's very difficult to come back from that. Obviously, it's not his fault. The Giants completely collapsed in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go, but like he will be kicking himself because he makes those 2 points and everything else plays out the same.
Yeah.
They win by a point. I do feel horrible for him, and he's gonna be feeling a bit nasty all week now.
Wow. Well, Giants, that sucks for you. Hopefully you can rebound. Broncos,
What a win.
what a win. Exactly. Great. Well said. Let's move on here. Another pretty good game was the Eagles Vikings. The Eagles pulled out winning 28-22, but the Vikings did not make it easy. And Carson Wentz, while he is very much a roller coaster when you're watching him as a quarterback, he played well, but not as well as Jalen Hurts, who had a perfect passer rating of 158.3, which none of us know what that even means. But he did defeat, and he made he was cooking with AJ Brown yesterday, and AJ Brown had probably the best game of his season so far, including a great catch, which basically sealed the game in the fourth quarter. Did you guys get a chance to check out this one, and what did you think?
Yeah, I was watching it. I was sat next to my housemate. He is an Eagles fan. So even though I got Red Zone and unfortunately the Eagles Vikings game, I think was one that was blacked out on Game Pass. But it was on Red Zone, so I was watching it on Red Zone, and yeah, it was very impressive for Jalen Hurts. It felt like this is the game that he needed to have. He's had some quite subpar performances so far this year, but for him to funny enough, in the lead up to this game, he was talking about how they were going to get the run going, which they didn't with Saquon Barkley. He's still averaged, 2.6, 2.7 yards per carry. But passing the ball, when you get your best playmakers the ball, when you got AJ Brown versus a safety, take advantage of that, and that is what the Eagles did in this game. I mean, AJ Brown did not make his feelings. He made his feelings very well known when he caught
Oh,
the
when he scored
ball.
that
When he
first
scored that
touchdown, did you
first
hear what he was saying?
touchdown, and
Yeah.
he was like, "That's what you do when you get me the fucking ball." So,
Yeah.
kind of saying that as a bit of a diss to Jalen Hurts. But yeah, he was great in this game, as you said. When the game was on the line, when they needed it, great throw from Jalen Hurts, great catch from AJ Brown, just kind of sealed the game. But I also wanted to shout out Devontae Smith, who had a 79-yard, I think his longest touchdown of his career. He had 183 receiving yards as well. So he
Mhm.
actually had more receiving yards than AJ Brown in this one. But the Eagles manufacture ways to get their best players the ball, other than Saquon Barkley, and it told in the end because as much as the Vikings defense, which have been ranked up there in terms of, top passing defenses in the league so far this season, if you're going to put AJ Brown against Jeff Okudah, which I'm sure Fletcher knows Jeff Okudah is, only one thing's going to happen.
Yep.
So,
Pretty sure if I'm right, Chapman, you know Jeff Okuda as well, don't you?
oh
Of
yeah, he
course,
played for
of
the
course.
Falcons as well, didn't he? So yeah, and on the flip side for the Vikings as well, it was a game of what could have been. They had plenty of chances. I think they got into the red zone five or six different times. They had one touchdown and five field goals, and that's the difference in the game. Being able to convert that into touchdowns, including one where. Yeah, I mean, to my eye, TJ Hawkinson, great catch. But it got ruled out by New York and all the officiating and all that sort of stuff. So that was a shame because that could have made it a real close game in the last 2 or 3 minutes. But yeah, impressive win for the Eagles nonetheless.
Really was. And I think they keep, I think the Eagles and Philadelphia in general, their fans, the sports fans, just they're fueled by drama. So there has to
Mm,
be some sort of adversity going on for them to do well, and it either propels them to Super Bowl or it propels them to flatlining. But we'll see which one happens this season.
mm.
But they looked really good, and they showed that they could win in by throwing it. Jalen Hurts reminded us all why he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback this week. On the flip side, I didn't, with even the Vikings losing, I'm just interested. Like Wentz was good, but not perfect. He made some mistakes, but he also, kept them in that game. Was there, am I crazy? Did they score a touchdown that got taken back at the end?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah, they
that's what it
did.
was.
They did.
Was
They
it,
did. They
yeah,
had two
so
actually. They had two touchdowns taken back. So they had one. And then yeah, so that they had that one for TJ Hawkinson, which got ruled
Hawkinson, I
out
remember
by the
that one.
ref.
Yeah.
But then they had another one as well. I don't know if I can't remember who it was for. It might have been for like Jordan Mason, not Jordan Mason, for Jordan Addison maybe or something. So
Pretty
Yeah.
sure it was
they had
Addison.
their chances in this game.
Yeah. So anyway, I still think they can contend as well. So let's not count out the Vikings. All right, where should we go next? I'm not going to allow you to talk about this game too much, but you requested Tom, and since you're my co-host, we have to do it. Thursday night football.
Mm,
Bengals beat the Steelers 33-31. Joe Flacco. How many touchdowns did he have? Three, four,
three.
eight? He had three. All right. 342 yards, three touchdowns. The old man's still doing it. It makes me sad that Matt Ryan somehow is still not playing.
And
Obviously,
Aaron
they have to.
Rodgers as well lit up this game. Just briefly, like, I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but four
I'm kidding.
touchdowns. He also had two picks. But
Yeah,
Jamar Chase in this game was
was a stud.
insane. I think he had 16 or 17 receptions, for over 100
16,
yards,
161
23
yards.
targets, which is insane. Just feed Jamar Chase the ball, basically.
And T Higgins almost had 100 yards too, on
Yeah,
top of that as well. So yeah,
there you go.
and Chase Brown, of course, for my parlay, all I needed was that touchdown, and he scores a touchdown, then it's taken, and then it's called back because of I believe an offensive holding.
Yeah.
But Jamar Chase has 106 yards on the ground, 33 points. That's pretty good for a team that I think we're burying a week ago. So I
This
don't
saved
know.
their season. You could argue definitely.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, and not a this is very Steelers-esque. They always seem to play down to opponents and lose games that they should win, which is a Mike Tomlin special in my view.
Hmm.
Hmm. Um, Fletch, since you're
Yo.
joining us, do you have a game you'd like to talk about?
Um, I think to be fair, the most interesting game I thought all weekend, other than the Giants Broncos, was Bengals Steelers, which I saw dubbed on online as the Elderly Bowl or the
Hmm.
Oatmeal Bowl, which I thought
Hmm.
was just brilliant.
the
Um,
Unk Bowl, yeah.
no game particularly stood out more than many others, although I would maybe like to mention the Colts
Well,
Chargers.
I was about to say there's
Um,
one, and it's mainly because of the uniforms.
yeah, the Chargers. Like we do need to have a chat. I think not on this podcast necessarily, just us as individuals and the Chargers about those bright, very yellow uniforms. It was even the Savannah Bananas aren't like it was somehow worse than that. I like the Savannah Bananas, just don't like the uniforms. It was
But the Savannah
horrific.
Bananas aren't trying to be a real baseball team.
Yeah, I get it.
They're a for fun baseball team. This is a professional team where you came out. My wife was like, what is this? Like, what's happening here?" Like, but Tom, what this game gave us is two things. A, the Colts
Mm.
and Fletch, excuse me, Fletch and Tom. Colts are for real, for real.
Oh yeah.
Actually, three things. For real, for real. The Chargers are still the Chargers. I don't care how many people are hurt or whatever. I have a Chargers fan in my life who's making all the excuses in the world. Herbert throwing a freaking goal or red zone interception at the end. That was on him. That has nothing to do with the line. And thirdly, it gave us the term honey hole. I have watched the NFL my entire life. I have never heard the word honey hole before in this game, but apparently it's when a wide receiver kind of goes out to the like to get out of bounds but catches the ball really quick, and that's the honey hole. I'm going to be researching this for us. I'll come back next week, give us a little more, but I just want everybody to know honey hole is our new favorite football phrase on this program.
Yes.
Anyway, Daniel Jones is very good, and Jonathan Taylor is freaking awesome. And I say that as a Bijan Robinson believer, truther. But
Oh yeah.
dadgum, Jonathan Taylor, three touchdowns in this game. I think he's done that three times this year already. Am I mistaken?
Yeah. And yeah, I mean he's unbelievable. I mean he's MVP candidate
He's
for
in the honey
sure.
hole.
I
That's what
mean
he
he
is.
is what he's doing, he's easily leading the league in rushing. Um so yeah, he's got the most rushing touchdowns, most rushing yards, and most carries as well. So he's at the moment he's got the triple crown for that. And this Colts team is just a well-oiled machine right now. Like there was the end result doesn't reflect how dominant the Colts were in this game. It's a 14-point game, but it wasn't really. It was just like it's like when you slip lipstick on the pig or whatever. That's what the Chargers were doing in this game with scoring some like late touchdown. But yeah, the Colts absolutely dominated this game. Tyler Warren again is having a great season. He had another touchdown in this one. As you said, Daniel Jones is dominating. I think my favorite point of this game was actually Grover Stewart, who is the defensive tackle for the Indianapolis Colts, and he's a run stopper. But what do you call it? Justin Herbert drops back, trying to throw the ball. It gets tipped, goes up in the air, and Grover Stewart, the 320-pound defensive tackle, picks it off and starts running. Just like the big man. Love watching big man run, to be honest. And that was definitely a highlight, especially seeing Justin Herbert, everyone lauds as this great quarterback and all this sort of stuff. And he's already thrown 5, 6 interceptions this year. He only threw three all of last year, and that's what happens when you throw the ball more. You put it in more dangerous areas.
I mean, to be fair to
And the
them, they are
Chargers, the
missing their
Chargers are going to charge her as well. So
well,
I agree.
but Tom, to be fair to them, they are missing their two starting running backs, and they're on their third. Again, not an excuse. So running the ball is a little bit more difficult for them. They are missing people on their offensive line, so they are going to have to throw more.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
of course,
but
of
but
course,
but but I
yeah.
can accept interceptions,
Hmm.
between the 20s. But when you're in the red zone like he was, and you got Keenan Allen, who was on fire yesterday, who was doing great yesterday,
Oh, he
and you got
was.
Quentin Johnson, who also is really good, there was no excuse.
I think that's the one
I,
that killed them, to be fair. The red zone pick, like he's trying to get the ball to Quentin Johnson,
Johnson, yeah,
gets picked off, and that's kind of they were already
it was
down
a
23-3 at the half, so they needed a lot of things to go their way to come back, and it was never going to happen. So
it was a terrible throw. I don't know about you guys, but I came away more impressed though with Stan Steichen as a head coach.
Yeah.
He called a great game, made some really ballsy, calls to make sure they just kept going up. He didn't let off the gas, which I think a lot of coaches do when they get up like that. And there was, see Brian Daboll. Um, you know, I'm very impressed with this Colts team. And what's funny is, as a Falcons fan, so we're playing. I'm going to Berlin in a couple weekends to see the Falcons play the Colts. This was when you looked at the schedule at the beginning of the year, this was one of the W's I had for us, along with also the Patriots, who we play in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure well, Colts for sure. I'm very very like Patriots. I'm like okay maybe, but yeah, those are two W's. I'm now penciling in as tentative or
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I think also the fact that yeah, when you say that as well, like at the start of the season, when we didn't know how all these teams were going to play. You look at that, Colts Falcons game in Germany, and you're like, oh, is it actually going to be that good of a game? Are the Colts going to be a good team? And look at them now; they're 6-1. They
yeah,
lead the AFC. They obviously lead their division, and they're just absolutely rolling. Yeah, very, very impressive
they can beat any team in the
coaching.
NFL.
Sure.
No,
Yeah,
they can beat every team in the NFL. I
they
think.
can.
Absolutely.
And if the Falcons offense shows up for this game, it'll be a really fun game because
Yeah.
it'll be a very, we'll see. But their defense is stuff. But anyway,
But
they're sorry, you were gonna say Fletch?
yeah, I was going to. I just the thing that gets me with the Colts is simply it's been mentioned already is Daniel Jones very good, very happy with what he's doing. Jonathan Taylor absolutely is cooking, doing all the things right. But what I just wanted to echo what you said there, Chapman, about Shane Steichen and everything he's doing with the team. Watching a lot of these Daniel Jones, I'm looking at it, and this is not a shot at Daniel Jones in any way, shape, or form. I'm looking at him he's not doing anything that's insanely special, right? He's not setting the league. He's not showcasing some elite arm. It's a combination of just well schemed football that comes off the back of having a very good running back that you've always got to account for no matter what. And Daniel Jones just being good with the football, playing clean with the football, being smart with the football, and the O-line doing a fantastic job of protecting him and keeping him upright and all those things. And I just think it's the perfect example of, and again, not to be disrespectful towards the Colts, it's like Leicester a few years ago, and I'm not going to say they're going to go on and win the league. But there's some very good players in the team, but this
Mm.
is just an all-round, well-drilled, well-coached team that is working well together. And where you think like you could pull one of the pieces out, and I think they still carry on to a very good standard. And it's so impressive to watch such a well-oiled machine like they've got in Indianapolis at the moment.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing that I've seen, because obviously the offense is rolling, but I think a lot of people in the offseason thought that, this Colts defense was going to be one of the worst in the league. And to do what they've done as well so far this year has really, really impressed me. You know, with Kenny Moore, with Julian Blackman, um, with well, those are the main two that I'd pick out anyway. Kenny Moore's always, been the stalwart of that defense, and then Grover Stewart as well. Obviously, the pick that I said, and that pass rush is playing really, really well. You know, Leah Latu. Buckner had 2 sacks in this game as well. So they're just as Fletch said, they're just an all-round, well-oiled machine, and they're a buzzsaw that no one wants to run into in the NFL right now.
I don't. Let's go on to one of Fletch's NFC North foes. The Bears beat the Saints 26 to 14. I will say this wasn't much of the game for a good bit of it, as the Bears take a lead 20 to nothing. But then the Saints rallied, came back, scored 14 off Olave catching 2 touchdowns. But then the Bears kind of pull away in this game. This was it wasn't a great game in terms of entertainment value, but
Mm.
what I would say is this is another win for the Bears. They are now 4-2, and they're looking more like that offensive unit we kind of wanted to see under Ben Johnson. And yeah, this is a game they should have won. They got up early and they just kind of held on to the lead, kicking a couple field goals in the third and fourth quarter to basically seal this one out. Rattler, he continues to make some plays, but that team, the the Saints are competitive, but they're just not good. And
Mm.
you know, this is a game that Chicago should have won, and they did win. I believe what was interesting is I was going to take the five. The start is a 5.5 spread. By game time, it was down to 3.5, and I could not understand why. And I flipped it, took Chicago, and that paid off. Anyway, Fletch, you got any thoughts on this? Did you watch any of this game as the NFC North aficionado?
I was gonna say there's like the two connections to this game that
Mm.
as we all know we've got a wonderful Saints fan who joins us in the Discord sometimes as well now, complimenting us on our episode. Unfortunately, I'm not going
Ah.
to return that favor. I'm very much about to shit on their team. Um, so just be careful if I get hit by something. They're also in the room. The It was on. I did the multi-view on the zone because that's the thing you can do with the NFL now. They give you a select multi-view. I had red zone on with the audio, and then the Saints Bears was just above red zone, and it was every time I looked up, because obviously primarily watching red zone, I look up if the Saints are on offense, Spencer Rattler's doing something stupid, and it was genuinely every time I looked up, Spencer Rattler was doing something stupid, or the Bears were making a good play. Um, two touchdowns, 3 interceptions, I think says just about enough. And when two of those touchdowns come right at the end of the second quarter, right at the beginning of the third, that's it's not the greatest indictment of who you are as a and what you've done as a player throughout that game. The What really got me the most though was just that the Saints could not get going on the ground whatsoever. 11 attempts on the ground for Alvin Kamara with a whopping 28 yards, uh, and a longest of 6. It was they're just one dimensional, and they're not very good at that one dimension that they had yesterday. And unfortunately, the Bears were a completely different outfit. The Bears were fantastic. They 124 yards on the ground. Granted, one interception from Caleb Williams, but he was pretty efficient and good with the football for the most part in the air. He's not lighting the league up. And he's I'm still not completely on the Caleb Williams hype train yet, but he's doing more than enough to win games. And I'm working off the back of DeAndre Swift, who has found a very good lease of life with Ben Johnson in Chicago. It was, yeah, all I can say, Saints bad, and the moral victories over the last few weeks not going to cut it. Saints bad, and Bears good.
and it was a revenge game as well for the Bears defensive coordinator, formerly the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, who I always forget his name. Tell me who it is, Fletch.
The head coach of the Saints.
He used to be the head coach of this. Dennis Allen.
Oh,
Dennis
Dennis
Yep,
Allen.
yep,
Allen.
yep, yep, yep,
Dennis
yep.
Allen got the win and he got the game ball at the end of the game as well.
Yes.
So and he got the recognition that he deserved for a good performance from the Bears defense.
Yeah, I don't think any coach should ever get a game ball. That's just my opinion. But you know who else should get a game ball was Swift.
Mm,
DeAndre Swift. Now, if you had been playing NFL Daily Fantasy on the Game Day app, you would have done very well if you had picked DeAndre Swift. Am I right, Fletch?
Yeah, you would have done yourself quite proud, and it was quite. I had a bit of a flutter yesterday on NFL Daily Fantasy. If you don't know what it is, imagine if a bet and a game of and a fantasy football team had a baby. That's what you get with NFL Daily Fantasy. You get a budget, you set a team to that budget, you compete against other NFL fans, and in the UK you can do that via Fantasy Game Day, our very, very lovely sponsors and good friends of the show, the first and only NFL Daily Fantasy app by UK fans for UK fans. And if you fancy competing if you think you're good at fantasy football and want to have a little war off with some of the co-hosts of these podcasts with various other people around the UK, then you can do so by downloading the app, which is in the description of this episode. And when you do so, sign up and use the promo code HRDLE, hurdle without the U.
because there's no hurdle line without you.
Just beautiful. And you will get free plays worth up to £7.50 once you deposit and play for the first time, because they're really, really nice and they'll treat you if you tell them that we sent you.
Very nice, Fletch. And remember, Swift had 124 yards and a tutty. Are we saying tutty on this program? I don't know.
If you want to, if you would
I
like.
heard Tom Brady say tutty, and I was just. By the way, can we talk about Tom Brady really quick? Just can we sidebar? We're gonna go over to the Chapman rant quarter. Uh, Tom Brady is not a real human being. I like why is he doing this? Like, why are you? I mean, I know why. There's $300 million reasons why, which has allowed him to buy into the Raiders and to whatever dumb team he's bought into over here. Anyway, but he is literally the weirdest person. He's an alien. I like there's it just he it's everything's creepy about him. I'm sorry. I just like you know what I love about Michael Jordan? He was the greatest and then he's just gone. Like, you know, and like LeBron, I'm sure when he retires after this year, you know, he's weird, but he's weird in a fun way. I like
Yeah, yeah.
LeBron. But like Brady is just there's just nothing relatable about Tom Brady whatsoever to anyone.
I agree. Like he does seem like. Do you know what I think happened? Is the last Super Bowl that he won, he just went into like a cryogen chamber, and then never came out, and we're just seeing like the clone version of Tom Brady on these broadcasts, and
You know what? I'm gonna take it back. Anything personal, I'm sure Tom Brady is a nice dude. Like I'm almost positive about it, but like him on what here's my real complaint. It's so forced and Olsen is so good. It's like, what are we doing here?
yeah,
What are we doing? I just can't stand when it's like clear there's an agenda for something that nobody's at like outside of people in Boston. Who else cares? Like, I mean, yes,
Hmm.
if he was, I would actually rather, you know what Tom Brady would be really cool at is like you guys didn't grow up with this, but there was a show on it was on Showtime on HBO, and then I forgot what it was called Inside the NFL. And it was like really smart people watching each game and talking about them. It's NFL films. Go Google it. It's awesome. It was awesome. Like I think Bill Simmons talks about it sometimes. Inside the NFL is great. Tom Brady would be great at that because he could be like,
Hmm.
here's where what went right, here's what went wrong, blah blah blah. But like in the moment,
Hmm.
Tom Brady is very forced, and it's just not fun listening to him that Washington, which we should talk about the game now because he called the Washington Dallas game where the Cowboys defeat the Commanders 22-44. It's Dak and CeeDee Lamb. It's George Pickens just kicking the crap out of the Commanders. At a certain point, Jaden Daniels is trying his hardest, but he's just a little dude and he just gets creamed by the Dallas defense, which had been terrible up until this point. He gets hurt, he goes out. Mariota comes in. Mariota is even worse. This was just an ASS kicking to the maximum degree. Dak Prescott should definitely be, depending on where they end up, but he should at least be in the MVP conversation because of the way he's been playing this year. He's willing these teams to victory. What did you guys think about this game?
Yeah, it's
That was a
funny you
great
say about
transition, by the way.
it's funny you say about Mariota in this game, because obviously he comes in and he instantly tries to do this hero ball where he's surrounded by like five different Dallas players and then just tries to get it out to his receiver with Deron Bland stepping in front of it again, back like he never left with a pick six to the end zone. The guy, all the guy does is score pick sixes. Like he's unbelievable at doing that. And you know, they just kind of put a bow on this Dallas victory. There was a point in this game where it was a lot closer, especially kind of midway through the second quarter. It was kind of back and forth. Giants touchdown, then Zach Ertz gets the touchdown. So Jaden Daniels was playing like all right, but then as soon as Dallas got the touchdown right before the half,
Yeah.
and then established it to a two score lead. They just ran away with this game, in all honesty, really. And this Commanders defense is really bad. I mean, Marshall Lattimore, just go and work at Best Buy or something because you can't cover receivers anymore. I mean, every time he was up against George Pickens, he was getting flagged every single time he was trying to tug him, whatever. And CeeDee Lamb in this game came back 7 receptions, 110 yards, touchdown. That long touchdown on the blown coverage as well for him. So and yeah, as you said, Dak Prescott deserves all the flowers for how he's playing so far this season. Playing very just solid football. Not turning the ball over, playing absolutely on point. And this Dallas offense is one to be reckoned with. It's a shame that obviously the defense played well today, but it's against the Commanders. I still think the defense will be the death of them in the end, but he's playing some inspired football. And one thing I noticed as well that Scott Hansen pointed out as well was if you want to get noticed by Dak Prescott, why don't you wear his high school jersey? And
He
that's
only showed
exactly
that
what Jake
clip
Ferguson
8
did.
times.
They did because what else were they going to show? These games were just not good.
That's fair, Tom. You're being very fair. But the third time I saw it, I was like, okay, we've seen this, Scott. Calm down. Used to be you show one thing one time and then you miss it.
But Jake
Uh
Ferguson caught another touch. I think he caught either one or two touchdowns in this
he
one.
I,
He's having a really good
he
year.
caught two. Yeah, he did get two. Yeah.
So yeah, and Dallas just continues to roll, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Commanders better
Fletch.
hope that Jane Daniels is not out for a while, otherwise their season can quickly just fall away.
Yeah. There's nothing I can say about this game that hasn't already been said between yourself and Tom, other than I have like this weird infatuation for rare plays. So I always love when other to just get a bit of it. Nope, no one can see it. Well, it looks a bit weird when I'm just doing this on the screen. Safety dance, safety to start the game
Mm.
for the Commanders. That's how they got off the board. So I have a not quite a safety alert on my phone, but I follow a couple of accounts on social media that pretty much just solely report when safeties are scored. I have a thing for weird plays. And very uncommon plays. Safeties and fake punts. They are my two favorite things in in the entirety of football. But other than that, look, it's absolutely right. Dak Prescott killing it at the moment. Jaden Daniels happened, and then Marcus Mariota. Pretty sure it might have been a fever dream because that was horrible. It might have been a nightmare because it was nasty.
It's like
Um,
he did the one thing that you don't want a backup quarterback to come in and do is make a catastrophic mistake when the game is still on the
You
line.
know what? Forget Marcus Mariota. I'm sorry. That guy quit on my team just because he got benched. What a joke.
yep.
I do not wish him anything well. I don't wish him bad, but I don't wish him well. Actually, I probably wish him well because I'm that kind of guy. But yeah.
Yeah, you aren't like that, Chapman. Come on.
Nah, I know. There's not, but you know. All right, let's get through some of these crap games. There was a London game this week, guys.
We still
Nobody
haven't
want.
talked about the Cardinals Packers. Surely that one was like better than one of the.
Yeah, yeah. All right, you're right. You're right. You're right. I'm conscious of time now. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
let's talk about. Let's
We
talk.
can mop through these terrible
Yeah,
games.
yeah, yeah. You're right. Packers, Cardinals. This was a welterweight battle of two teams that aren't going to do anything in the postseason at this point, at least in my opinion. 27-23, Green Bay over the Jacoby. I think we were all rooting for Brissett, right? Everybody was rooting for Brissett. I
Yep.
know you were, Fletch. I mean, geez. But everybody likes Jacoby, Jake Brisket, as he's also been known as. He comes in and looks better than Kyler Murray pretty much hands down. So I think he should just get the job at this point. But that team is very flawed. And Jordan Love brings them back. Yeah, because they were up 13. No, they were, yeah, up
They were down multiple
13-6.
points in this game,
13,
actually.
they were up
Yeah, yeah,
13-3 at one point.
They were
yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
13-3. Then they were down 20-13, I think. And then they
And
came
then
back
came
and
back.
ended up winning. But the main reason they won is because of more than anything, because of Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs run the ball. When you got the chance, give Josh Jacobs the ball to run into
Yeah.
the end zone. And that's what he does. Jordan Love wasn't that impressive in this game, really. Micah Parsons had 3 sacks in this game, his
T-
first like real big game, but
No, Tyler Kraft had some good catches. They
yeah, he
they
did.
definitely moved the
Tucker
chains a
Kraft
couple of
did.
times. I
Yeah.
mean, Jacobs only had 55 yards, but he had two TDs, and he was a late game decision to play.
Yeah.
Who else? Let's give the Cardinals a little bit of love here. McBride looked really good today.
Oh yeah, really good.
Yesterday, scored two touchdowns. Really like big touchdowns too. Um,
Zay Jones as well. Great 43-yard catch from Jacoby Brissett. I think it might have been his only reception, but beautiful catch. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
give
he had,
him
I
he had
mean,
that.
two for 67, but the 43-yard one was brilliant.
It was
yeah,
brilliant, wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah. But ultimately, the Cardinals defense could not hold back Green Bay, and it just was not to be.
Green Bay is just
Uh,
not an impressive team to me right now.
they're
Like
not.
they're just not
There's
like
just
unless
nothing
they
impressive.
finally actually get clicking on all cylinders. I'm just not that scared of them at this current moment.
Yeah.
No.
I can't. I'm licking my lips, rubbing my hands for Thanksgiving when we get to face him again because like the revenge is gonna be so sweet. I want to give one shout out though to at the very end of the first half. Sorry, so second quarter. The Cardinals left 7 seconds on the clock for Green Bay to go and do something with it. They go two plays, 22
Oh,
yards,
that's right.
61-yard field goal. So like
Oh yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like I'm a big believer in the whole like it. Even if those 3 points get taken off, I don't think the game gets played the same way throughout the second half. Just things change. So
Shout
I'm
out to Lucas Havasick for the
but,
longest field goal in Packers history.
but yeah, like 61-yard field goal as time's expiring in the in the first half. Huge moment. Absolutely props to him. Um, and yeah, that was I think that was pretty much all I wanted to say on it. Was just that was I was very impressed and um yeah, just I felt really bad for Brissett at the end.
Yeah.
But it was yeah, only one game could truly have drama up to the last second, and it was Broncos Giants. So
That crucial fumble that gave Green Bay the
yeah,
ball back, and
yeah,
that was kind of all she wrote. But yeah,
yeah. But I absolutely agree. Give Brissett the job at the Cardinals. I was very much a Kyler Murray homer for a long time. Um, I've given up on that. I admit that I was wrong.
I love Kyler Murray, but he can't win.
Mm.
He can't bring. I don't know. He can't run a winning team or help run a winning team. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
His COD squad's quite good, but
Yeah.
Fortnite duos he might be great with you, but on an NFL football field, not so much.
All right. As I
Gentlemen,
mentioned, as I mentioned,
can I talk about the Chiefs game really quickly? Like literally like
yeah, I was gonna tee you up close to the end so you could just
oh
go
okay,
off.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
just do that. Just do
let
that. That's
let
fine.
no, let's do it
Go,
now. We're
go.
done, guys. Patrick Mahomes looks like an MVP player again, and the Chiefs blank the Las Vegas Raiders 31-0. Tom, tell us about your Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, this was a dominant victory from start to finish. I mean, I'll just give you a couple of stats from this game to just highlight the Chiefs' dominance, really. Patrick Mahomes had as many touchdown passes in this game as the Raiders had first downs, three. The Chiefs had 30 first downs, and the Raiders had 30 offensive plays in total, which is the second least amount of plays in a game in the Super Bowl era. So total and utter domination, 31 zip, Rice back, two touchdowns. AFC, beware. This dormant Chiefs team that people thought were dead at 0-2. We're back, baby.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. I just want to remind you, you played the Raiders. Good win. Good division win.
Chiefs are the
Uh,
only team in the NFL to score 28 points in each of their last four games.
there we go.
So,
There we go.
and that was against not just the Raiders, that was against the Lions last week as well. Sorry, Fletch, not to throw straight, just
Very scary. All right. It was a very good win for your Chiefs. It's also, as Tom and I were texting last night, first time that Andy Reid in his entire career in the regular season has blanked another team. I find that crazy. Crazy. Anyway, congrats to you, Tom. 4-3. Well, you're definitely better than the Chargers. We know that. All right. There was a game in London. Our co-host on the preview podcast, Sam, Rams fan, was there. I wish we could have had him on for at least 5 minutes to talk about the game, but it
Yeah.
was a beatdown. The Jacksonville Jaguars frauds.
frauds.
Trevor Lawrence, not a franchise QB.
He's also a
Sorry,
fraud as well.
he's a
Yeah.
very much a fraud. He's just taking money from Shady Khan. But no,
Can't
Shadi
even
Khan's
complete a 5 yard pass. So yeah.
wait, Shadi Khan, is that the mayor of London? I'm confusing. Whichever Khan.
You're on about Shad Khan, I think, is the
Sh
one that runs
Shad
the
Khan.
yes.
I knew I got it wrong.
Listen,
I knew I
we're
got my
not. Listen,
cons.
I don't want that kind of heat on this podcast. If we're gonna start calling out the
By
mayor
the
of London,
way,
like I don't
I
want
was
it,
going
mate.
to tell you, whoa. I was going to tell you, my sister and my nephew's last name is Khan too. So I have Khans in my
Ah,
family.
there you
So
go.
yeah, my
Okay.
so anyway.
Same.
Let's get back to the things. Matthew Stafford throws 5 touchdowns, two of which go to Devontae Adams.
Three.
This game, three of them, he caught three. Sorry, I only saw two. This game was over like literally the minute it started. It was 21-0. I've never been more happy that I did not spend 100 pounds to go to or more to go to see
Well,
this
yeah,
game.
you were thinking about getting
I
tickets.
was very excited about this game.
Uh,
Um, yeah.
yeah, I want to obviously shout out to Sam. If you want to hear Sam's take on his experience, you can listen to the preview show on Friday. But I want to give, as on behalf of the AAW network, shout out to Gary from the College Football UK pod, and obviously big part of the network. He was on the ground in the press box,
Mm.
tweeting and posting on behalf of the AAW network from the press box at Wembley
Very
on
nice.
Wednesday. Sorry, on Sunday. Sam offered to do a couple of posts, but I said nope. Like you enjoy you enjoy the occasion for yourself. So just want to say, number one, a huge thank you to Gary for doing that for us at the AW Network, and hopefully next year,
Legend.
well, it'll be us there, on the sidelines, probably, yeah, but hopefully having a great time next year.
And,
But
and if you've been with us from the beginning, we're in the press box now, which I didn't know and should have been told to me pregame before we started this podcast. So we could have shot out to Gary and said, anyway, but we'll talk about that. That's game notes, that's producer notes. He's super producer, he's not perfect producer.
Wow.
So
Thanks. What has give us the I didn't watch any of this game. I caught some of the highlights before because I was there's a local community festival on this weekend, so was out throughout the afternoon. So Gary was even more of a lifesaver. Gotta say though, Travis Hunter's first career touchdown. Congratulations to him. First, I think it's first 100-yard game as well as a receiver in the NFL. He was about the only person that could do anything with Trevor Lawrence yesterday, and that was what in the fourth quarter, quite late on. Rams comfortable from the very, very start. Very, 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 very from the very start. Never looked like the Jags were going to cause them any trouble whatsoever. That touchdown goes in at the end, and everyone just kind of goes, right, nice, good for you. The only people I think who stayed were people who had money on the over
Yeah.
in the game. And congratulations to Stafford, who most touchdowns at Wembley in an international series game, and it just poses the question: were the Rams right to, did they do the right thing and only turn up on Saturday?
Did you hear what he said, Fletch, after he's now got the most touchdowns in London?
Yeah, it gets
He
knighted now,
said,
doesn't it? He's the
"Do I get a
franchise.
sword or something?"
Yeah, the franchise tag. Again, good friends of us at the AEW. They asked him like, we might knight you, Sir Stafford, now, and he's just, oh, do I get a sword with that? Um, So, but yeah, like that's an international series record, and yeah, it settles the argument of, I think, of the Jags turning up on Tuesday, the Rams turned
Mm.
up on Saturday. If they could have, I think they would have got off the plane, gone into Wembley, and played the game. Um, but clearly McVay had the right idea going into it with that kind of prep.
Yep.
like I say, just raw dog it, land, treat it like you're just going straight to work from when you land. But anyway,
And that also applies to Sean McVay.
speaking of our friends on the preview pod, Carl's team, the New England Patriots, got a nice win against what possibly is the worst 1A to 1B team. And I'll tell you who 1B and 1A might be in the next game that we talk about. But the England Patriots, sorry, went round the houses there, beat the Tennessee Titans 31-13. The Titans, obviously, who have fired their coach last week, Callahan, come in with Mike McCoy. Cam Ward doesn't look any better. The team doesn't look any better. And Drake May looks great, though he does get injured and leaves this game early. And Dobbs comes in, finishes this one. But it was always a very comfortable game, pretty much, for the New England Patriots, which totally burns me up.
And
Um,
Keishon Boutte continues to cook.
he does. Rookie, Keishawn Boutte. But did he have another two? I know he had one. He had
He
one
had
other
that
one.
one beautiful because I think Drake May is the best passer on deep throws this year. It was like a 48-yard touchdown towards the end
Yeah,
of
just one touchdown.
yeah. So he had to, yeah, he only had one. But I think Drake May had two in total. He had 92% completion percentage, which is a New England Patriots record, beating
The
Tom Brady, which anything you could beat Tom Brady in, you're always thankful for that.
percentage. But it's 21 for 23. Let's all calm down.
Yeah.
Austin Hooper has a awesome catch to score a touchdown in the second quarter. In the quarter, former Falcon who played his rookie year on that Super Bowl team that lost to the Patriots now is a Patriot. Very weird. Anyway, that was a great catch. Probably one of the best of the day. This game was pretty much out of hand. Second quarter. I mean, maybe not out of hand, but it just never felt like the
I
Titans had a
think
chance.
yeah, well, I think was it the Titans led
10,
towards
10-3 at the first quarter, and then
10-3 in the
yeah,
first quarter, and then
yeah.
after that, the Patriots just
They
kind of
scored 28, they 28 almost to 3
yeah,
after that.
yeah,
So yeah, that's
exactly. There
pretty
you
much
go.
it. Going on, when I said 1A, 1B, one you can put them in whatever order you want. The other worst team in the entire NFL is the New York Jets. They lose to the Carolina Panthers 13-6. The
Less
Panthers,
said about this game, the better, honestly.
yeah, but let's just go really quick. First of all, the Panthers are 4-3, something that we did not think. Their defense looked really good. I would also say the Jets defense looked pretty decent. It
Mm.
was this game was, you know, a low scoring affair that was awful to watch. But Justin Fields looked outside of Tua, it was probably one of the worst performances I've seen in a quarterback, even though I think he did the worst performance last week. This Jets team is trying, but I don't know if you continue to have this week and week how you can keep Aaron Glenn as a head coach.
Mm.
And I say that with all due respect. I do not like firing people, especially in their first year, because I know it takes time. But this is you have to win a game or two. And the Panthers, while I do think they are punching above their weight, and they're probably not as bad as we think we are. This is a game that you could potentially win, and they don't. Fletch, do you have any thoughts?
Why is it better to watch Andy Dalton versus Tyrod Taylor than it is to watch Bryce Young versus Justin Fields? Like
It's not.
that's it what it just about, but it was horrible. The whole game was horrible. The Panthers have those like one week they're quite good, the next week they're absolutely terrible. It's just like if you are going to have a terrible week, by God, like you are so lucky to have it against the Jets because no matter how terrible you are, they will out terrible you in just about every way, shape, or form if they can. Yeah, it was horrible throughout just a awful game. Both quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks, go out. You get Andy Dalton and Tyrod Taylor to finish it. Like,
I was going to say, yeah, Bryce Young's got a high ankle sprain. It's unlikely he's going to play next week. Could be like two
Nah.
to 4 weeks. So,
is there anything on Justin Fields, by the way? Because I'm sure he got taken out with an injury. That was what I heard.
no, he got benched for Tara Taylor, didn't he?
Oh,
He
so
got
I remember
benched.
someone saying he wasn't because again, like this is one I'm not
Hmm.
watching it. It's coming
No,
up on
I wasn't really
No,
watching
he
it.
did. You're right.
it's
I think I said he got benched, and he
it.
he looked awful. And then Tyler Turner came in and basically looked
Shout out to
about it.
JC Horn in this game. That's the one thing I was going to say. Two
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, he
and
looked
he is a
fantastic.
beast. Like to me, when he's on his game, he's a top five corner. And that one-handed catch that he had as well for the second interception was beautiful.
That was yeah,
So
that
yeah,
was that was
that's the
insane.
only thing I'd say in this game. But
That was insane. That was really, really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Two more games. Last night, Sunday Night Football, the 49ers beat my Atlanta Falcons, which is why I'm wearing my Atlanta upside down shirt because it's either happy or sad, whichever shirt you want to be. Um, McCaffrey gets going in this game. The Falcons lose one of their key defensive pieces, Diablo, who was an acquisition from the 49ers, funny enough. In the offseason, he's been great for us. He goes out, and it was a pretty even game up until that point, and then McCaffrey is just able to let loose, and the Falcons can't do anything. That Falcons offense, while able to move the ball decently well, just looked horrible. Could not execute in the red zone, and Michael Penix looked just really off and bad. They 49ers sold out to basically stop Bijan, which they mostly did, and there was not much else you could do. And Michael Penix would not throw in the middle of the field, which is what was left open. And the 49ers, we hear all week how beat up they are, how this team is blah, 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 did exactly what they should do on Sunday night. This was a Kyle Shanahan special where he just says, hey, I got one move. I'm just going to keep making that move until you stop it. And unfortunately, the Falcons continue to not be able to be consistent on offense, which has been the killer. Their defense was decent in this game, kept them in it for the most of it. But when you can't score touchdowns or even get field goals at the end of the game because your quarterback is throwing the ball away and getting the clock run out because it's intentional grounding with 10 seconds left, um, yeah, you're not going to win ball games. It sucks.
I was going to ask you, Chapman, because there was a moment in this game I was watching it, where there was a chance for Zach Robinson to just well, it was a chance to kick a field goal to make it 13 apiece. But instead, you then go for it on fourth down, and then the play call was terrible, obviously. You get stopped, and then they go down and score the touchdown, and then that kind of seals it. Like,
Yeah.
what were your thoughts on that one?
Well, what's really interesting is we're one of the best running teams in the NFL, but we cannot apparently run the ball for 1 or 2 yards. Every time we're getting in these really short yardage situations, Penix is passing the ball to Drake London, which again, not necessarily terrible, but like also just doesn't really make any sense, especially when you have Algier. But we keep, and we're not forcing our will on anyone in the out, And again, part of that is McGarry being out on the blind side. He is an exceptional run blocker. He's a very mediocre pass blocker, and I think this offensive line is just still not what they want. They didn't put a lot into it in the offseason because they thought it was going to be really good. And yeah, anyway, I think Zach Robinson is still very inconsistent again as a play caller. And I think, Penix he's 9 games in. So you know, I was very frustrated in this game because he had a lot of balls that just went to people's feet and just were off. But he's 9 games in, and we
Hmm.
knew accuracy was part of his something that he needed to work on. And like I think he can continue to grow. So I have a little more grace for him. But dude, Zach Robinson needs to set him up to succeed. And I just
Hmm.
keep thinking Zach Robinson has a little bit of Arthur Smith, where Arthur Smith would continue to do things because it was his way of doing things, even if they were clearly not working. And it's just very frustrating. But I would say this: let's get your hats off to San Francisco. I don't think they're dead and buried. Mac Jones looked decent. He did, we did pick him off once in this game. I still very bullish on the Falcons defense, despite this loss.
Oh,
But I
I think the Falcons defense is really, really good. Like, I think a lot among the metrics and all that sort of stuff, and they kind of proved that in this game again. It was just the case, as you said, as soon as Divine Diablo went out, it was give Christian McCaffrey the
the
ball, run up
ball.
the middle, and he dominated. 201 total yards, 2 touchdowns, big bounce back game for him.
Yeah.
But I was going to shout out for the 49ers defense. You know, I do think that this is Kyle Shanahan's most impressive year to date. Like, I do think with all these injuries that they've had, just to be able to continue to, get production out of these players, these backup players, the likes of Darrell Luter, Tatum Bethune, who was stepping in for Fred Warner for his first game since, he's out for the year.
Yeah.
And then especially Chase
And
Lucas.
Huff.
Yeah, Huff, exactly. And Chase Lucas on that fourth down, where Penix was looking for Drake London and he breaks it up. Having those impact players, even if they're not your starters, going and making big plays to, seal the win for them. Really, really impressive job for the 49ers so far this year. And they're only going to get better again. They're in getting players back. George Kittle came back in this game.
Yeah, I was going to mention
He was
that.
more of a guy in the run game,
He
creating the
was.
lanes for rather than, having a lot of production. But he's just that sort of team guy as well. So yeah, impressive win for the 49ers.
Yeah, yeah. Kittle being back really, I think, helped improve McCaffrey, and that's it. You could see that like that was a big piece they needed. Anyway, so luckily the Falcons get Miami next week, so hopefully that'll be a get right game for them. But we will see. But all I can say is do not bet on the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe bet on Bijan anytime touchdown, Bijan over on receiving yards, but that is about it. All right, guys, we got one last game. We were hoping Ollie might show up, so I saved this one for last, but. The Cleveland Browns get their second win of the year by beating the lowly Miami Dolphins 31-6. This is the worst game of the week in terms of one team looking really great, the other team just looking like poop. This Miami Dolphins team is bad. From the optics, there's nothing really great to say about this game, so we're not going to talk too much. But shout out to Ollie. His birthday this week. Happy for him to get a good W on this thing. Very much deserved. All Cleveland was clicking on all cylinders. I think there was an injury in this game for Cleveland. Tom, do you know?
I actually don't know. I was mainly keeping up with the red zone stuff, so I saw
Yeah.
like the touchdowns for Quinshon Judkins, who looks like an
Oh,
absolute
Quidron looked like a
beast.
stud.
So
He had three in this game, right? Uh,
Yeah, and then also, yeah, Tua Tagovailoa was bad in this game. I mean, Tua turned the ball over in this game. They had three interceptions, got benched for Quinn Ewers. But I did want to shout out Tyson Campbell as well. The trade that the Browns had with the Jags, sending Greg Newsome one way and Tyson Campbell the other. He had a pick six in this game. Managed to keep his feet in on the sideline and go all the way. And but yeah, the Miami Dolphins are not a very good team, and their deficiencies were proven in this game. Tua gets, obviously benched, and it looks like Mike McDaniel's, he's probably only going to have a matter of time left in this job if it continues going in this vein. So
yeah.
yeah, not so good for the Dolphins, but yeah, I'm sure. I messaged Ollie as well. Say, how nice is it for the Browns to finally have a blowout win over a team? Yeah, nice win for the Browns.
The the Browns haven't scored more than 17 points all season. And
11 straight games. Yeah,
yeah, 11 straight games of scoring maximum 17 points, and they put up 31 and never once looked like they had to really try to make anything work. Quinshon Judkins, god damn it, I hate how good he is. I absolutely can't stand how good he is because of college affiliations. But he is so good and looks arguably he's the best for me, the best rookie so far this year. He, as particularly offensively, he's been impeccable all season. Um, and look, I did well, sorry, I didn't watch, but I saw it took less than 20 minutes for Nottingham Forest to sack Ange the other day. I watched James Franklin get fired. We've watched Trent Dilfer get fired in college. We've watched all these different college fire. Billy Napier this weekend. I don't get what it is that look at the end of the day that those players gave up on McDaniel. I'm not asked. Like I watched a good bit at the end of this. They gave up, and once that happens, I think once your players have given up, I think they've not got much respect for him as a coach anymore. I just think they've given up, and I don't know how there wasn't, and there hasn't been an announcement yet about the future of Mike McDaniel. How he's still in that job is beyond me at this point. And like you say, Jack, like, I don't like people getting fired. I don't want people to be getting fired. It's an unfortunate part of the job. I don't want to advocate for it, but I don't get what it is now that what they gain from having him in the building because the players have checked out on him.
Yeah, it was it definitely, I mean, and I also think that players checked out on Tua as well. I don't think his comments
yeah,
last week would
I agree.
great. It was
Yep.
just it was so sloppy, and I don't want to take anything from away from the Browns because I think they played a
No,
really good game, a hard game, and any win in the NFL is deserved. So um
absolutely.
anyway, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes owners like to wait till the buy. I'm not sure when their buy is or what it is. That might be a thing. You know, they definitely knowing the Falcons,
Next week.
they could, it'd be crappy for me, but you never know. But yeah, I don't see a future long term with Michael Daniels, but some owners are just different. I mean, m-
Yeah,
up until
Their
you
bye
know,
week's week 12,
week
but I
12.
doubt he's going to make it to week 12.
They've got the
yeah.
Falcons, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Commanders to go till the bye week. Now, look, if this was last season, that's got to be the scariest run going. But
Yeah, we'll see. The Falcons hopefully will show up angry and maybe that'll end things, I don't know. But McDaniels doesn't seem to really have a lot of answers, and I just think this team just you got to blow it up and move on.
he-
Um,
yeah, he seems like such a good guy. Again, I don't want to advocate for someone getting fired, and he
I don't
seems
know if
like
he's
a good
good, but I
guy.
think he's a smart guy, and you like seeing different person. He was definitely one of the few very original personalities as a head
Yeah,
coach that was like, he was
yeah.
obviously the first. He was called Nerd Boy by
Rex Ryan.
Uh, yeah, exactly. Or grind. Anyway, so tonight there's two Monday night games. This I said it last week. I was wrong. This week is the official last time we have two Monday night games. I think for a while the NFL is no longer going to do this anyway. It's obviously Fletch's Lions at home against the Bucks, and then Seattle is hosting Houston
I will
Um,
not be staying up for because it starts at 3 a.m. UK
yeah, it
time.
goes. So Fletch, I'm going to time you. Give us your 90-second take on the game really quick. What are you expecting?
Right, tell me when the timer's on.
It's on.
Okay. This is, you asked for a big scoring game. This is the almost guaranteed to be a big scoring game. Baker Mayfield versus Jared Goff has always ended in like a gazillion points. The Bucks might be without Egbuka. They might be without Mike Evans. That's a huge sway in the way the game could go. Lions are favourites. I still think both one of the two will be in. Mike Evans more than likely will definitely be in. We'll see about Egbuka. I'm not saying they scare me. I'm saying I very, very, very respect them as opponents. I think Baker Mayfield is for me right now probably my MVP early on. Incredible player on an incredible run of form. This team always gives us a good game. I'm hoping the Lions will pull out a win. It'll be very offensive.
Halfway.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Lions can pull out a win. It'll be a very offensive game.
Offensive.
Offensive game. There'll be
Oh,
lots of swearing, lots of rude gestures, even with Brian Branch out. Yeah, the Lions
30
are out a
seconds.
couple of important players, but yeah, I see it being a fun one. I see it being an exciting one. And it's nice and early on at midnight as well. So hopefully you can catch as much of it as possible.
oh, it's on a midway. Oh, that's good to
With
know.
15
Really.
seconds to spare. This is what I need to do with Fletch every single time.
I was just
When
going to
you
say
get
one thing on this game quickly, just before you move on, Chapman, was that the Lions are going to be out without basically all their starting uh, defensive backs. So I think the Buccaneers will eat on that sense, but I think it's going to be a shootout as well.
Well, as I was saying, if we keep Fletch on a timer, we just get gold nuggets just every time. And if we put a red light, green light for Tom to come in before interrupting me, then he can make his point. This podcast would just be singing. And if I could remember how to say names and remember people's names, it would just be a trifecta that no one remembered. Anyway, happy birthday, Ollie. Awesome. I hope everybody enjoys these Monday Night Gems. Fletch, good luck to you. I obviously will be rooting for selfish reasons on
Fantasy
multiple
football, yeah.
levels. I hope it's a great game. I look forward to watching it in the
Oh, yeah.
morning. Tom, congrats on your win. Nice hat. Tom has a new Chiefs hat.
Thank you.
You can only see if you're watching on YouTube. Remember to follow everybody. You can follow me on X. I'm not on X anymore, but just follow me so I can get more ads. So I'm even more mysterious. But everything's down in the link below. Thanks so much for listening to us. Listen to all our other AAW content, including the College Pod, which personal favorite, with Gary and Sam and everybody else. You have our preview pod, which will be previewing week 8. Can we believe it? We're almost halfway through the season already. Coming up, we have other things happening. Blah blah blah. Guys, thanks so much for joining us, Tom. As always, thank you, sir. Super producer Fletch. You'd think I'd be able to say that after almost 2 years. Thank you, sir, for all your hard work. Hurdle that honey hole.